Hello. I would like to speak to you briefly about an interesting fact which I have discovered as an astrologer, which I wanted to share. So, we consider ourselves individuals often, or many people, or perhaps most. And what's interesting is that obviously we all have astrological charts because we were born into this world, and we have these 9 planets acting on our life, and their identity is based on where they are in our charts. And so these 9 planets are all very different, and they all have their own input into our life. And something that I had already known as an astrologer is that, for example, within the family unit, people's planets are very connected. It's very clear that it's not a coincidence who our mother or father or brother is. But one thing which happened to me, which made me realize something that I want to share, is that I was kind of like trapped for 5 months in a new city in a country where we had a real serious lockdown for the coronavirus. So I just ended up in this place, renting a flat in this place. And it was just in this whole complex, the only people were basically me, my landlord who was living above, and my neighbor who lived across. Those were the people who were there. And so I got to know these people, obviously. They became my friends. So they ended up, told me their birth data, because of course as a friend I told them I can look at their chart. And so I looked at their charts, and what I realized was it's not just a coincidence it's not just not a coincidence who your parents or your sister, brother, your sibling, your, direct family is, but actually it's not a coincidence anybody who's basically sharing space with you in this plane on the earth at any given moment. Longer back, I had just taken like an introductory course about the Kabbalah, and I had learned about, I believe they call this concept tikkun, and it's something related to this that, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm not an expert on this, but that it's kind of related to this, that the people that you're sharing the space with at any given moment, it's not at all a random thing. So when I was looking at the charts of my 2 neighbors, I realized that we all had these planets in common. And I realized that the reason that it's not just the reason that we were drawn to each other to become friends, but it's also the reason that we ended up in that place at the same moment, because that was also, especially in my case, it was not at all something that was planned. So it was actually quite like a stroke of luck that I even ended up in a place where I was safe and had shelter during that pandemic time. So what I wanted to say is, what this made me want to share is that what is commonly thought is that we are one individual interacting with another individual. But what's actually the case, if you look at it on another level or from another angle, I'm not saying that we're not individuals. I'm not saying that this is the only angle to look at it, or that this is a better way of looking at it. But it is a fact that it's not just that I am one individual interacting with another individual. It's actually the fact that my planetary configuration is in relationship with the planetary configurations of the people around me. And that's why we're sharing the same space. It's not at all a random thing. It's something that is part of nature. So you could consider yourself an individual, but you could also consider yourself a conglomeration of these planetary signatures, which, just like the planets in the sky are interacting with each other, all of our planetary signatures are interacting with each other, because it goes hand in hand, because the planets, while their physical representation is viewable in the sky, they are also I don't want to say alive. I could say alive, but they're also active and existing by way of us, of any living thing, actually. So, but as human beings, we're able to, like I've just described to you, you can actually discover this. Well, if you, like me, because I'm an astrologer, so I had the data of these people, but I wanted to share this because it's something that I think maybe is interesting to consider. And that's all. So, hope you enjoy. And if so, like and subscribe, and see you next time.